Yeah, I think if it's 3, it's try.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules.
Hi, Tanya.
She's like starting. Hello, Tanya. Good to see you.
Hi, Isaiah.
Ryan. Dave. Agenda coming your way there. Bang.
Did you see my email, Ryan?
There are a lot of people
Thank you, man.
they had one.
Mrs. Speaker, I thought you would exhibit a level of decorum at your meetings when I get to
You can use my computer without my computer. Oh, I kind of do that. And actually when you go to log in,
See, but when I logged in, it said my name. So.
yeah, but when I logged in, it also said your name, which means I knew who it was.
How was your
So, I kind of use it. Oh my god.
Yeah, of course.
It was last week that I said cool it, and then
I don't have. I think I want to. I just would appreciate it. To properly.
I changed my mind.
I literally
Next time I see him do it, I'll say something.
it's cool. Yeah, like I think the same.
Really?
Yeah, so why didn't you use my computer? Why did you use my computer?
Okay.
Because I was waiting for them to start.
How did you know? Yeah, you did, because when you first logged in, said my name.
Time 7:02, I call the section of Whitewater Student Government to order. If you're able to rise alongside me as we recite the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the
flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, if you're ready and able, would you please call the roll?
Senator Gielich.
Here.
Senator Hernandez. Senator Lang.
Present.
Senator Major.
Present.
Senator Marty.
Present.
Senator Pachucas.
Present.
Senator Purnell.
Present.
Senator Reber.
Present.
Senator Reyes. Senator Richardson. Senator Schwarzmagel.
Present.
Senator Vanderhyde.
Present.
Senator Wheaton.
Present.
Speaker Wilson.
Present. If you are binge watching the posted WSG Senate videos that we post to YouTube, we have Kool-Aids and some treats up front. So if you haven't got any, I suspended, if you're binge watching it, it was just a few moments ago that I suspended the food and drink rule. So if you haven't got any of your treats for Director Roosevelt's birthday, give Director Roosevelt. If you haven't got any of your treats, they're up by the front. Please go ahead and grab to your liking and keep others in mind. With that, we'll move on to special orders, starting with the appointment of 2 Drummer District seats. Is there anyone in the gallery now interested in running for a Drummer District seat? Going once, going twice. Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we'll move to the appointment of 3 Esper District seats. Is anyone in the gallery tonight interested in running for an Esper District seat? Wonderful. Sir, you can join us up front here. Please recite your name to the President and Vice President. Spelling. Microphone.
Beautiful. Here you are, sir.
All right. So if you could tell us your name, your major, a little bit about why you want to be the next senator of the Whitewater Student Government. We'll give you 3 minutes, and your time will begin when you begin speaking. Sure.
Hey all, I'm Gabriel Jetty. My major, as of now, is business undecided, though I'm planning on changing up the history shortly. Sort of why I want to be a senator. I was a senator last semester, and I think sort of my learning of sort of the guardrails of it, and sort of what we can, what we're able to do, what we're not, what we should do, I think has sort of prepared me for this, and I kind of want to continue my sort of career here as a Whitewater senator. Thank you.
Wonderful. That would move on to questions. Any questions? Going once, going twice. I got one. If you were a tool in a toolbox, what would you be?
My statement last time, and will continue to be a vice grip. I think one of my strengths is being able to sort of sit down and mediate between opposing viewpoints and sort of come up with a compromise and bring people together. And really, that's what a vice grip does. So.
Wonderful. Any other questions?
What experience do you have with leadership roles?
Pretty much, I've worked as in sort of the tech area at my local church. I've helped coordinate that, sort of helped with onboarding at my work in retail. And then also as sort of less of a leadership role. I mean, leadership can be sort of helping people, but as a sort of to a lesser degree as a senator as well. So.
Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we'll move into a roll call vote. A vote of aye will be a vote in favor of the candidate. A vote of nay will be a vote against. Everybody good? Wonderful. With that, Madam Clerk, when you're ready, would you please call the roll?
Senator Healy.
Aye.
Senator Hernandez. Senator Lang.
Aye.
Senator Majors.
Aye.
Senator Marty.
Aye.
Senator Patricus.
Aye.
Senator Purnell.
Aye.
Senator Reber.
Aye.
Senator Reyes.
Aye.
Senator Richardson. Senator Schoffer.
Aye.
Senator Vanderhyde.
Aye.
Senator Wheaton.
Nay.
Speaker Wilson.
Aye. And in a vote of 12 to 1, congratulations to the most newly appointed Senator Whitewater student government. Please hang around after the meeting, and I can give you some information on what that might look like. With that, we move to the appointment of 6 off-campus district seats. Is there anyone in the gallery tonight interested in running for an off-campus district seat? Wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us. Please walk toward the president and vice president. Recite your name and its spelling there to make sure it's correct. Thank you very much for joining us. You can tell us a little bit of your name, your major, and why you want to be the next Senator of the Whitewater Student Government. You'll get 3 minutes, and your time will begin when you begin speaking.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Coleman. I'm a higher education leadership major. And the reason why I would like to serve as Senate, because I'm very passionate and driven about serving the students that I serve and campus abroad. Now, they say lightning doesn't strike twice, but here I am again. And after I'll call that previous week, market research, understanding my platform, and what the students best were needing at the time. And with that, I can serve better and serve stronger with your support.
Wonderful. With that, we'll move to questions. Any questions for the candidate? Senator Martin.
What type of what have you learned from your constituents, and what type of research are you hoping and information will you hope to entail if you become a senator here?
Well, from what I've gathered from students off campus, the main issue, or the most vocal issue, was parking. However, I would also like for student advocacy, for them to have voices when it comes to them being able to conduct research, as well as them being able to have the type of representation that they need that they wouldn't normally get.
Any other questions? And once? Senator Hewitt.
How do you plan on best representing your constituents?
Well, I have strong faculty relations, so being able to be a liaison to them and being able to voice their concerns and seeing the best processes in order to get those resolved.
Any other questions? Senator Majors.
Being a grad student, you bring a different perspective to the WSG. How do you plan on bringing that directly to your constituents?
Excellent question. So as a grad student, I've gained a lot of administrative experience and a lot of experience abroad, serving to other campuses, other universities, things of that nature. So with that, I bring a lot of emphasis on legal studies in higher education and a research background. So with that, I can pass on that information, the knowledge and understanding to the undergraduates.
Any other questions? And once? And twice? Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we will move on to a roll call vote. A vote of aye will be a vote in favor of the candidate. A vote of nay will be a vote against. Everybody good? Wonderful. With that, we'll move into a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, when you're ready, would you please call the roll?
Senator Hernandez.
Aye.
Senator Lang.
Aye.
Senator Majors.
Aye.
Senator Marty.
Aye.
Senator Patricus.
Aye.
Senator Purnell.
Aye.
Senator Reber.
Aye.
Senator Reyes.
Aye.
Senator Richardson.
Aye.
Senator Schrocknagel.
Aye.
Senator Vanderhyde.
Aye.
Senator Wheaton.
Aye.
Senator Deelig.
Aye.
Speaker Wilson.
Aye. A vote of 14-0. Congratulations. Coleman, to the most newly appointed senator. Wonderful. If you're able, please stay for a bit after the meeting, and we'll tell you a little bit about what the next steps will be. And with that, we will move on to the appointment of 2 Rock County district seats. Is there anyone in the gallery tonight interested in running for Rock County district seat? Going once, going twice. Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we'll move into guest speakers, of which we have none. So we're on to approval of the agenda and starting with the minutes from February 9th, 2026. Can I get a motion to approve? Senator Schrockman?
I move to approve the.
Wonderful. Seconded by Senator Lang. Can I get a voice vote?
Acclamation.
Any opposed? Going once, going twice. Seeing none, with that, the minutes from February 9th have been approved unanimously. So we're on to the agenda for February 16th, 2026. Can I get a motion to approve? Senator Lang?
Motion to approve.
Seconded by Senator Deelig. Can I get a voice vote?
Acclamation.
Any opposed? Going once, going twice, seeing none. With that, the agenda for February 16th, 2026 has been approved unanimously. So we're on to student issues and concerns. Are there any student issues and concerns in the gallery tonight? Going once, going twice, seeing none. Wonderful. With that, we're on to reports, starting with external committee reports. That's course materials, so that's me. Passing the gavel off to Speaker Patricus.
On the Course Materials Committee, Speaker Wilson, you have the floor whenever you're ready.
It's good to be with you all tonight. Course Materials Committee, formerly known as Textbook Rental, or Textbook Committee, I'm so sorry. We've changed names over the last year or so, so I try to remind people of what the old charge used to be in relation to the new charge. So we met on Friday. Eric Lepp, who was the past chair of the committee, no longer serves on the committee, so he called us together, and we had one agenda item, and it was to elect a new chair. We decided that for the time being, we were not going to elect a new chair, and that Eric Lepp would serve as our convener of sorts. He'll get the group together and serve as the point of contact for Provost Fox if we are given a charge. Last fall, we did a little bit of work in terms of renaming the committee, redefining our scope. So we updated some of the new folks to the committee, and then decided that Eric Lepp would kind of remain that point of contact, but not be a voting member, etc. I yield.
Any questions for Speaker Wilson? I have one. She talked about the chair. Where's the? Is that all you really did, or did you
That's
board that committee?
That's all we really did. We met. We said, are we going to elect a chair? Nobody decided to run for chair, so Eric Lepp so kindly said that he will continue to kind of serve as a point of contact, even though he's not on the committee. And then we updated some new folks about what some of the work we did in the fall and last spring was. And then we were out there. It's probably 20 minutes or less. Any other questions? I guess that's not my job right now.
Who do you think would be a good chair for that committee?
Anyone who has the time or the ability to be the chair.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you, Speaker Wilson.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker Patricus. Wonderful. With that, we're on to internal committee reports, starting with the Elections Committee. Madam Clerk.
So the Elections Committee met on Friday at 9 p.m. in the SAI conference room. This was our first committee meeting of the semester. Orrin Smith was elected as the vice chair and Courtney Majors as secretary. So first we went on a little overview of what the committee is and what expectations of the members are. as many committee members have not been in WSG before and many have never served on the elections committee. We then did a review of our election rules, the calendar, and how violations work. We determined a weekly meeting time of 8 a.m. on Tuesdays, which will be held as needed. We decided on 10 a.m. on March 20th for violation hearings and ballot counting. After that, we had discussed some different topics and voted on the decision of the elections committee. So the first one that we discussed and voted on was, and I just put down the motion that was made in quotes here. We will vote on anything that affects the candidate eligibility, violations, or disqualification of a candidate. It passed in a vote of 8-0. We will not allow members of the elections committee or any neutral parties to sign signature packets for a slate. And if a member has already done so, then the clerk will be allowed to make it invalid. Passed 8-0. Members of the election committee and neutral parties will be considered to have directly benefited a candidate or slate if they have followed or interacted with an official campaign page or post. Passed 8-0. No election packets will be eligible for review until the submission deadline. Passed 8-0. We follow previously established precedent for signature validation process, which is the lack of response will not invalidate the signature, but will not allow the signature to count toward the total 10% required validated signatures. A denial of signature will consider the signature invalid and will remove it from the total number of submitted signatures. And a confirmation of signature will count towards the 10% total of required validated signatures. Passed 8-0. Then the 10% of validated signatures should be considered to be 10% of all submitted signatures. Passed 8-0. Any allowed entrance into a closed session will not allow virtual attendees, whether this is witnesses, candidates, slates, or committee members. Passed 8-0. Any allowed representation to or attendee of a ballot counting session will not be a virtual attendee, whether this is witnesses, representatives, candidates, slates, or committee members. Passed 8-0. And then we decided we'd be discussing the debate at our next meeting, which is tomorrow morning. I will also be putting this onto our Google Drive, the minutes from the meeting, so then folks can read over it if they would like. And then I yield.
Any questions for our clerk? Going once, going twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on to internal evaluations.
Happy Monday, everyone. Last week, the internal evaluations committee met just kind of do some semester prep work. We elected a vice chair and a secretary, Lofton Reberg and Elizabeth Vanderheim. We discussed the procedure and how we want to govern ourselves on how, if a report is submitted, what that process looks like, how we make sure it's fair and equitable for everyone. And last semester, Emily Wheaton and I, had created a document that this committee decided to continue using. And I just want to talk to you all about what IEC is, more importantly, what it is not. What IEC is, it reviews complaints of the Constitution and standing rules, or complaints of violations of rank. They can be submitted, reports can be submitted by a senator or a member of the E-Board. They may not be submitted by non-WSG members. What IEC will do is look at the complaint, we will conduct a hearing, and then we will recommend action for the Senate to take. IEC, if someone is found liable, IEC itself cannot take action itself. What it does is it recommends action for you all. And if you ever look at the standing rules about IEC, it says it may recommend appropriate sanctions. And that is not defined anywhere. So what we did is we defined it. What IEC is not, is it is not automatic removal. If someone reports you to IEC, that does not mean you are automatically removed. It doesn't even mean you're likely to be removed. While a sanction is removal, not all of them are. There are a lot of steps prior to that. IEC is not the first step in the process. What you should do is you should try to mediate the process. And if you need help to mediate, if there's an issue, I can help mediate. But your first step should not be to report something to IEC. And you'll be seeing more of me because I have pending reports. With that, Mr. Speaker, are you?
Any questions going once? Senator Bernard?
Were any changes made to the procedure?
Not at this time. I do want to spend more time this semester with this committee and make some revisions. It was kind of quickly thrown together last semester. We took it, not that we didn't do it with a lot of care, but we just didn't have a ton of time. But I do want to get a document that I'm proud of and have you all look at it, but I don't think it's in that place yet.
Senator Lang, you said WSG member, specifically Senate or E-board. Can you define like the parameters for member?
Like who isn't a member, or if you're not a senator or you're not a member of the executive board, you could be a representative, you could be a member of SUFAC, you could be a advisor, you could be a member of an advisory council. And while I would consider those members of WSG, the standing rules, that specific section was written before the definition was that inclusive. So the standing rules do dictate that I can only take reports from senators or E-board members. So that is what I will continue to do.
Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're into officer reports. Starting with the report of President Doug Bradley.
Good evening, everybody. We had cabinet last week. I attended CRC. Also had a meeting with the chancellor, vice chancellors, and shared governance leaders. That's our monthly meeting. It went pretty well. Talked a little bit about the WSG advisor search and their positive things. So, and then we had a 2-on-1 with the clerk. This week is going to be a much busier week. SPBC met this morning, Strategic Planning and Budget Committee. Cabinet also met today. Tomorrow I have the Campus Safety Committee, the Provost Search and Screen Applicant Review Meeting. SUFAC Vice Chair Orrin Smith and I are no longer getting lunch. Something came up, but we will reschedule. I will have a one-on-one with Gabby Drale, and the Chancellor's Leadership Council meets 9 a.m. on Friday. I want to give you all the heads up that we'll be trying something, a little trial this next week about what do e-board reports look like. What we're going to try is that reports will be sent to you via email on Friday of this week. Our reports for next week will be sent this Friday. You will have the weekend and all of Monday before the meeting to review the written reports of all executives and executive board members. And then the report section of the Senate meeting will be for questions on the written report. Just trying something new. A lot of what we give in our reports is shared at your committee meetings and at our cabinet meetings, and it's just, we're sharing a lot of information, so we want to try it, at least for a week. If it shows some promise, if people like it, we can extend it a little while. If people absolutely hate it, we can talk about cutting it back to what we normally do. I want to give you the heads up that reports will look different this week, so keep an eye out for written reports coming your way Friday, and expect that next week during this report time, there will only be questions on our reports, no oral report given like I just did. Then I'll yield.
Any questions? Deputy Speaker Peters.
Yeah, when do you plan on starting the advisor search, and when do you expect it will be done?
I'm not sure when it'll be done. I have full faith, though, that we will identify an advisor by the end of the academic year. Initially, my plan was to wrap it up by February. After speaking to some campus stakeholders, they urged me to push it back a little bit and not rush it as much, which, fine, right? We have a fantastic advisor in the interim, and I have no pause pushing it back a little bit. The advisor search, there will be an email going out this week to all individuals employed by the university as well as the Senate. Truthfully, I wrote that email last night, and now I just have to create a Connect 2 form. That's about halfway done for applications. And while I do have access to send emails that large, I do need somebody with Connect 2 access to allow me to send that. So I'll be meeting with Kim Clarkson to get that out. My goal, what I'm telling you right now, is that it'll be up at the end of the week. an email going out saying two things. One, who do you think would be a good advisor for us? Two, do you want to be our advisor? Here's how you apply, and it'll spell out the process.
Any other questions? President Bradley? Once, go twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, we'll move on to the report of our WSG Vice President, Abby Rice.
Hi everyone. So as for last week, I did some work with the gala. So again, it's on May 1st, and the doors will be opening at 5, and dinner and awards start at 6. And then I also had a meeting about catering, so that it's a buffet. So more information will come about the exact what will be served. And then I had a 2-on-1 with Sadie, and then reviewed applications for the provost search. And then this week I have some 1-on-1s, a meeting to look over those applications, and then continuing gala planning. So I yield to questions.
Any questions for Vice President Riser? Going once, going twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, one of the report of our advisory committee.
This past week, as far as student government goes, I've just been in support of all the things everyone else is reporting on, so I don't really have anything personally. And with that, I yield.
Any questions for Vice President Doug Bradley?
Is that your question?
You can say question mark at the end, and I'm sure the chair will say.
Kim's being very humble. It's been a lot of work that we've needed assistance with, whether it's scholarships or pay. So it might sound like a short report, but it's been a lifesaver. God bless you. It's the little things like sending out emails that I can't do without her. So very appreciative.
Is that true?
That is true.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Going once, going twice, seeing none. With that, we're on the report of, we're into e-board reports. We're into the report of our Director of Academic Affairs, Libby Gross.
Hi everybody. So last week I met with Dean Dugan, I met with Douglas Fox, and I attended the campus-wide advising model meeting. And then this week I attended SPBC. I had my one-on-one with Abby. Our academic affairs committee meeting is happening this Wednesday. Exciting. And then I'm meeting with Marissa, who's the director of the AAEC, and then also meeting with Jessica, who's the director of Core Services. And then reminder, applications for scholarships are due this Sunday, so be sure to look at what scholarships apply to you and apply to them. That is money left on the table, folks, so I recommend you apply. With that, I yield.
Any questions for Director Gross? Senator Martin?
I was looking at applications for scholarships and I did not. And it turns out that you have to, I see most of the scholarships you have to be a junior for scholarships. Is there any scholarships up for any people like freshmen or any, yeah?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of scholarships up for any students regardless of the year of enrollment. It is true that there is like a higher peak of scholarships offered to juniors or third years, but there is scholarships offered to all students no matter what year school they are.
Okay, can I, oh, all right.
Any other questions? Going once, going twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on to the report of our Director of Student Affairs, Andy Rose.
All right, hi everyone. Not too crazy of a week this past week. Oh goodness, Cabinet and Senate meeting. I was kind of working on defining some of the stuff with the Greek Life Committee as far as what that's going to look like. 8 a.m. Student Affairs Committee meeting on Tuesday, so tomorrow morning, if you're a part of that or if you'd like to just attend for fun. Also, if you have any interest in Student Affairs Committee, please let Speaker Wilson know. And this next week, I'll just be working more with Director Turner on It's On Us. We have our Student Affairs Committee. Oh, I already said that, sorry. Parliamentarian Purnell and I are also working on some outreach things and yeah, various campus meetings.
Any questions? Going once, going twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on the report of our Associate Director. Any questions? Senator Hernandez Cortez.
Could you kind of explain like some of the tasks of the Greek Life Committee?
Yeah, so we're just kind of looking for a committee. We're hoping for one representative from each chapter, kind of to discuss any Greek life issues. It'll be an ad hoc committee, so it's just meant to kind of get those folks in Greek life involved in the conversation and the things that student government kind of does.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Deputy Speaker Patrice?
How far along in the process of creating that Greek life committee are you?
Very early.
Any other questions? Going once, going twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, one, the report of our Associate Director of Student Affairs, Keith Turner.
Good evening, everyone. I don't have much difference to report from Director Rosenberg. I did have the chance to meet with Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, Kristen Billhauer, touch base with her a little bit and what their office is working on, as well as some different department heads across campus. I was able to attend our first Student Affairs Committee meeting, and we're able to establish a regular meeting time, hopefully. Again, if you're interested in joining the committee, please talk to Speaker Wilson. And this week I will have lots of office hours and work on continued It's On Us planning.
Any questions for Associate Director Turner? Going once, going twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on to the report of our Director of Communications, Paige Lemon.
Hello, everyone. So last week, met with my committee, designed Valentine Instagram graphics, had a meeting regarding the sponsors for the WSG Gala. And this week, meeting with my committee today, was supposed to meet with Director Rosequist regarding It's On Us graphics, but we're still waiting on a little bit more information right now, so we'll be pushing that meeting back, and then also starting to design layout templates for the upcoming WSG Gala. Other than that, I yield to any questions.
Any questions for Director Lemon? Going once, going twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on to the report of our WSG clerk, AJ West.
Last week, the election packet became available, and we had the information session. I met directors in the Archives Committee and then Elections Committee. This week, Elections Committee is meeting again, continuing on the other election process stuff and making sure stuff is uploaded. With that, I yield.
Any questions for our clerk? Going once, going twice, seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on to the report of our Senate Parliament hearing, Jordan Bennett.
Hello all. So outreach events are an opportunity for you all senators to connect with your constituents and understand student concerns. That being said, this is taking a little longer than I had initially anticipated to get those all solidified. So I am getting the logistics of all of that sorted out, but I want to assure you all that you will have plenty of time to take care of all of that this semester. Additionally, for those who have completed their first outreach event, I have sent out an email just confirming that you have done that. If you have not received the email and you feel like you should have, just talk to me, let me know, we can sort it out, and we can make sure everything's squared away. Also, I want to start doing a thing, we'll see how long it lasts, because I've noticed with a lot of reports, it goes, we're going to start doing this thing every week, where I'm going to give you a fun fact, and then it lasts for 2 weeks, and then it never happens again. But so we'll see how long it actually works. But did you know that asking a question is almost always in order, or as per parliamentary rules, or for Robert's rules? You can almost always ask a question if you're ever unsure about anything. It is the job of the chair to make sure that you understand what's going on. So if you ever don't know what's happening on the floor, it is almost always okay for you to ask a question. The only time where you can't ask a question is when there's no business going on, which is almost never the case, or if someone else is talking. Even then, it can be the case that you can interrupt them if it's really important. It has to be extremely important, but you can ask questions, please. And it is encouraged to do so. It is incredibly important. It is necessary in order to do your job correctly that you know what's going on. So please, please, please ask questions. And I yield my report.
Any questions? Parliamentary now, Senator Reader.
You said if we participated in any way in the involvement fair, we got an outreach there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Reader.
Do you happen to have an estimated timeline on when you will finalize the outreach information?
I don't. I'm hoping that it will happen. I'm hoping 2 weeks. It will definitely happen. I will say it will definitely happen by the end of February.
Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none, wonderful. With that, we're on the report of our deputy speaker, Mr. Nick Fisher.
Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to week 4 of the semester. Ooh. Looking at the list here, I have 7 senators who have not submitted an office hour for either last week or both weeks. So, if your name is on this list, I will come after you finally and get you to submit one if you did it. That's all I have.
Any questions for Deputy Speaker Patrice? I have one. Is it true that you have a metaphorical nose like a bloodhound? You will be found.
I wouldn't say it's metaphorical, but yes, you will be found.
Wonderful. Any other questions? Going once, going twice, seeing none. With that, we're on my report. So the stuff I did / doing this week, budget planning with some of the wonderful folks in the room who've also mentioned it. Cabinet as always, Constitutional Revisions Committee. Last week, as I gave a report on Course Materials Committee, I did some of that. And Internal Evaluations Committee. Some of the more important stuff. I'm sure you're all wondering, Speaker Wilson, when are we going to know about the time for this training that you said is going to take place on Friday? And boy, oh boy, or anyone, do I have an answer for you. So this here is asking 2 quite pivotal questions. I'll give a writing utensil on you. Question number 1 is, are you available for at least 3 hours on Friday? If so, if yes, if you could write yes, and then those hours, that would be great. Not just 3 hours, if you're available for 12 hours, if you're available from noon to midnight. You can put that on there. I'm not going to ask you to be there at midnight, but that would be wonderful. And also, would you like to join the Student Affairs Committee? The Student Affairs Directors have requested of me that we provide some extra appointments to that committee. So if either of those things make a lot of sense to you, just a little note on the left side for Friday, @ 3 hours, and a little tick on the right side for Student Affairs. Would you like to join, yes or no? And we'll just pass that right around. Senator Gielich?
When does Student Affairs meet?
This is a great question.
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, open, I mean, I don't know if it's open to change. I'll yield to the director.
So we were hoping to keep that time at 8 a.m. on Tuesday mornings.
Any other questions? Deputy Speaker Patrice?
Should I put my name and when I'm available?
Yeah. You should put your name next to when you're available. It's, honestly, it's not pivotal, but it'd be nice. Also very important is the Rock County meeting. Every spring, we have a tradition of taking our body and having a meeting over on Rock County's campus. We get to do some collaborations with them, meet some folks. We often get a tour of the building. I just want to let you all know that we are starting discussions around what week that will be. I would say it is very, very early, but it will happen. And it will be, it'll be a great time as always. I'm yielding for the rest of my report. President Brad.
Is it true that of the last 7 SPBC meetings that spanned over 4 different semesters, today was the first one when all 5 student representatives were in attendance?
That's true. That's true. It was very impressive. At least as long as I've been on it. So that's assuredly true. For the entire time, that's assuredly true.
You never want to sing along, hopefully.
I don't know what either of you are saying right now. I can't hear any of the words. Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none. Wonderful. With that, we are on to unfinished business. We don't have any, so we're on to new business. I'll be joining President Bradley at the podium so Councilman Garlock, Deputy Speaker Patrice, for the presentation of S-25-2607 resolution defining ex officio members. It's great to be with you yet again.
So under new business on the S bill, got it in the packet or in front of them, resolution defining ex officio members. President Bradley, Speaker Wilson, and Senator Reber, you have the floor. Go ahead, everybody.
Wonderful. Well, it's good to be back here with you 2 weeks in a row. 3 weeks in a row, yeah, I guess. If you look down at the final noting on this resolution here, it says that during the discussion on S-25-2606, President Bradley and Speaker Wilson promised to bring forth a proposal to update the WSG definition of ex officio to provide clarity and to align the definition with current practice. To do that, we partnered with Senator Reber and whipped up this definition. Honestly, we could read line by line the resolution. I don't think that's necessary. President Bradley, if you could just scroll. And this is the definition we came up with. It's short, it is sweet, and I will allow President Bradley or Senator Reber to dive in.
Sure. So first thing we did is we kind of defined what ex officio means in Robert's rules, right? If you recall, there was some debate last week about how in our standing rules, ex officio is only defined as non-voting, right? But in Robert's rules, it granted things like the ability to vote, to go into closed sessions, to count towards motions, or to make motions, to count towards quorum, things like that, things that are not current practice of the Whitewater student government. So this first sentence here is essentially the Robert's rules, or it's talking about how Robert's rules says that ex officio just means you're on one thing because of another position you hold. So first sentence is an ex officio member as it relates to the Whitewater student government is a member of a given organization, committee, or council who is granted membership because of a position they were hired, elected, or appointed to. For example, the WSU president is ex officio on all internal committees besides the elections committee, right? I'm on those committees because I'm the president. The next part is what they can do. So while ex officio members are allowed to attend all meetings, including closed sessions, they are not given privileges akin to other members. Ex officio members are not to vote, count towards quorum, or make motions. These are restrictions that fall in line with the current practices of the organization, right? I don't make motions at committee meetings. I don't count towards quorum at committee meetings. I don't vote at committee meetings. For those who attended committee meetings with me, you know that to be true. So this definition is bringing us in line with what we currently practice. One thing I will add is that this has gone before CRC, and you'll hear a list of pros and cons before you vote next week.
Senator River, did you have anything you want to add? The only thing I would add to what President Bradley just said, right, as it relates to the promise we made last week, right, we kind of talked about this during some of the updates we were making to the advisor process. Even if you're brand new to the Senate, you've never been in a committee meeting, you've never been, this is maybe your first or second meeting here, we never call the advisor's name during roll, so you've all seen how in practice an ex officio member of one of our bodies is treated in this way. It's the only thing I would add. If we're all good, Mr. Chair, I'll yield the question. Will yield the question.
So we're going to go to content changes, and I will also allow any questions that may be pertinent that you may ask that might lead to a content change. So, Senator Richardson.
Point of clarification.
Sure.
I don't know what it means, like, to make a motion. Could you guys, like, explain that?
I yield to the chair.
I'll yield to the parliamentarian.
That's good work.
Sure. So a motion is how you do anything. You can, if you look here, on the back of your name tag here, you have a list of statements you can make. Those are essentially motions. These are a handful of the most common ones that you can make. They are the beginnings of statements that you might want to say, and then they have a brief description of what they do. So if you want to amend, if you want to make a change to what something says, you might say, I move to amend by, and then whatever you might want to change it to. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So like if you were to approve an agenda, right, you would move to approve that, right? Any other content changes? You go to clerical items?
Yeah.
Submitters?
Friendly from the submitters. While ex officio appears in every instance in this document without a hyphen between the words ex and officio, and while that is correct, we'd like to add a hyphen between every ex and every officio, as that's how it is currently written in our standing rules.
As I'm looking, there is one with a hyphen
Is
in this version.
Oh, yeah.
We did a lot of digging during CRCS to figure out if it should be hyphenated or not hyphenated. Basically, the answer is do whatever you want. Put it in italics, maybe. We're going to proceed with hyphens.
I will ask for unanimous consent to make that change. Any opposed? Seeing none, that change has been made. Any other clerical edits? Okay. We will go into questions. Which I have one. Can you just compare this to what the current language in our standing rule says?
Yeah, I can pull it up. Essentially, it says, in all instances in the standing rules, ex officio is synonymous with non-voting.
I'm asking, can you pull it up?
Certainly.
Would it be all right if we read it? If I read it aloud?
Dude, I'm right here.
I mean, you can.
He's already here.
He's
Never-
already there.
He's already there.
Term ex officio is synonymous with non-voting in all instances of its use in this document.
So what this bill would do is replace that definition with that one. Any other questions, Senator Gilley?
So does this bill create the category of definitions within our standing rules?
Nope.
Or did this exist beforehand?
Yeah, definitions already exist. There's one definition in the section definitions. It's ex officio. We're just changing.
Oh yeah, so you're changing it.
We're changing that definition.
Just changing 1.6a.
That makes sense.
But the section is definitions with an S. So if you're thinking in your head, what else should we be defining? Maybe that's worth thinking about.
To do a defining bill. Parliamentary Burnett?
Are ex officio members given speaking rights?
Yeah.
I think a lot of our members as well, Mr. Speaker, if you could just pick one spot and stick to it, please. We define whether or not they're given speaking rights. Like executives, I believe it says, are giving speaking rights.
I was trying to figure out if it was the light that you were asking or the
You or Mr. Speaker.
Well, I know who I am.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes, speaking rights would, once recognized by the chair, of course.
Any final questions? Senator Richardson?
So what would it look like what kind of examples would an ex officio member, what would they speak about?
A great example of something an ex officio member might speak about is our advisor during a WSG meeting. They give a report. They say, hey, here are some pertinent things I was doing. Maybe here are some pertinent things to the work that they do outside of their role as just WSG advisor. But another good example might be the way that the clerk serves as an ex officio member on CRC. Clerk might stop into one of those meetings and say, hey, the thing you're doing right now has an organizational impact as it regards to insert blank. So an ex officio member is oftentimes there to give additional context or kind of oftentimes, in the way our body uses ex officio, if we're being honest with ourselves, it's to place somebody in a room when they're not supposed to vote. So like I'm an ex officio member on SUFAC. The reason I'm an ex officio member on SUFAC isn't really to provide any context to SUFAC in most cases. In most cases, it's so that if something's going on in SUFAC that I see is super pertinent to this body, I can bring it to this body instead of the SUFAC chair reporting their monthly report to the body.
Why was the decision made to redefine ex officio rather than using a different term?
That's a great question. I'll allow President Bradley to give his own answer as well. I would say in the shortest possible, like in the most practical answer, it's that we promised. And if I were to come up with an answer as to why I think it makes sense, it's because and this is just a personal thing, am in favor of taking the practices of our body and enshrining them in the standing rules, as opposed to kind of taking, in my mind, what standing rules are an enshrinement of the practices that we use in here. And everyone, at least in the lexicon of student government, has this perspective on what ex officio means. I think it's better to take how we perceive ex officio and bring it into alignment in our standing rules, but I totally see if somebody has a different perspective of that. But if there's anything else.
Seeing no further questions, thank you all. And we're going to go into announcements. And the first one is the gavel being passed back to the speaker.
Any other announcements? Madam Clerk?
Wanted to mention to everyone that there are a number of employee searches coming in the next couple of months, both for University Center, for student activities and involvement, and other areas. So if there's interest, make sure you're passing that interest along to those who make appointments for such searches. Who would that be?
I'm sorry, I did not hear the first part.
So if we were to be appointing a senator to a search committee, that would go through
the president, likely. Yeah.
Okay, so you know who to tell if you have interest in any particular areas. All of that will be coming with more details, but there are just lots of them, and we'll need some help. The second thing I wanted to mention is that I'm attending a webinar next week that's all about open meeting law. If anyone has any interest and would like to sit in with me, it's next Tuesday at 11:15. It is sponsored by UW System Legal, and so there's lots to be heard and learned about open meeting law. And then want to give one more reminder that we have both UC student employee positions, applications open, our homecoming committees applications are open, and if you've been a part of the U-Lead program, our U-Leader applications are also open. So lots of great opportunities to use the leadership skills you're practicing here every day and impact even more students.
Madam Clerk?
If you did a committee report tonight, please send it to me. And also, if you did an officer report and did not have it in your packet, please send it to me. Thank you.
Senator Reed?
I know it's their job, but I'd like to give a shout out to Associate Director Keaton Turner. I brought an issue to him a few days ago, and it was fixed over the weekend. It's very exciting to see that fixed, and I saw other students notice it and say, oh, "Look, the towel's gone." So thank you for doing your job.
So rolling off of all the employment stuff we've been talking about, this Wednesday is the career fair from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So if you're looking for additional employment opportunities, internships for over the summer, definitely go there. And then second thing, if the academic affairs committee could meet me after this.
I've recently learned that you're allowed to ask questions at any point during the meeting. And I have a question of the body, looking for head shakes here. Has the piece of paper that I've passed around made it? Okay, it's right there. Wonderful, thank you. Thank you for all your work on that. Parliamentary Brown.
If any senators would like a notepad, and I didn't get to you last week, please see me after the meeting. I have more. Thank you.
I think we're good. Do you have an announcement? Any other announcements? Going once? Going twice? Seeing none. Wonderful. With that, we're going to adjourn. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Senator Reyes, going at the speed that I've appreciated.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded by Senator Richardson, going at the speed that I'm appreciating. Can I get a voice vote? Acclamation. Has been called. Any opposed? Once, going twice, seeing none. Right here, 7:55.
Yes, let's go. I like it too. Boom. My Law and Ordery.
New appointees. New appointees. I'm coming to you tonight. Today. Get over that way. Get over that way.
I have an issue.
I'm going to be sending you an email. It's going to have everything you need. I think you've both seen that email before. Do you have any questions? All right, boom. All right. Stuff. Anybody need me for anything? Anybody need me? If it's not done by then,
March,
Does anybody need me for anything? Anybody? Immediate need me for anything? Okay, I'll walk you down there. Yeah, I saw you. Nick, you have my jacket.
So we're spreading the word. It's like bring that in.
All right.
Maddie brought it. The third birthday Wednesday at 7.
Hey Doug, if I fill out the application, can I have a letter of recommendation?
You need one, I'll write it.
Not a letter, you just need a name, a book, your
Thank you. I think I'm gonna sleep on it.
If it doesn't go away by tomorrow morning, definitely.
It's down.
Yeah.